My name is Paul Sotak, and I've been working here for about 17 years at the Arboretum. And my gardens include some of the core gardens behind the Visitor Center and Snyder Building, including the Perennial Garden and the Dwarf Conifer Garden, the Dahlia collection that I'm standing in front of right now, and some other herbaceous perennial collections, the lilies, the daylilies, and the peonies. Typically, I'd like to have one day of the week reserved for volunteers to come in. Thursday worked for me. It could be a Wednesday, but I like Thursday best. The gardens here are high maintenance, and volunteers are quite helpful doing all sorts of tasks. Primarily weeding. I don't like to use pesticides that much, so I use them as little as possible. Try to be as organic as possible. But also work here involves like deadheading, like on the dahlias when it's the dahlia season. And in the springtime, quite a bit of planting of annuals and planting of the dahlias. And then lots of wood chipping to help keep the weeds down. So we keep that operation as, as little as possible, but there's always a lot of weeds, so just maintenance of the gardens through the season, and it changes throughout the season. Peonies are in bloom in June into May, and so there's a lot of work there. Then there's work in the lily garden in June into July, and then the dahlias are in the fall, and the daylilies in July into August. So there's a lot of variety. One thing I really like is the variety. There's lots of different things to do, and the dwarf conifers I haven't talked about much, but a lot of new dwarf conifers have been planted there, and they're fascinating plants, all kinds of weird colors and shapes. And so there's, between the different herbaceous collections and the perennial garden and the dwarf conifers, there's lots of different things to do. So it stays interesting. Sometimes the work is mundane, pulling weeds, if that's the case, to clean an area up. But, from week to week, things change, and there's a lot of variety.